C.S. Lewis once profoundly noted, God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. Imagine pain not as an enemy, but as a divine megaphone. It's a startling perspective, yet deeply comforting. When life is smooth, we often drift from our spiritual moorings, distracted by comfort and false security. But in our suffering, God breaks through our complacency. Consider Job, a man of great piety, faced with devastating losses. Job's story, found in the book of Job in the Bible, is one of profound faith, immense suffering, and ultimate restoration. It is a compelling narrative that explores the themes of righteousness, testing, and the sovereignty of God. Jobs was a man from the land of Uz, described as blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He was also immensely wealthy, the greatest man among all the people of the East, with thousands of livestock and a large household. Job regularly offered burnt offerings to God, seeking forgiveness for any sins his family might have inadvertently committed. The narrative takes a dramatic turn when the scene shifts to heaven. Satan appears before God, and God points out Job's faithfulness. Satan, however, argues that Job is only righteous because God has blessed him abundantly. He suggests that if Job were to lose everything he holds dear, he would surely curse God. God then allows Satan to test Job, with the condition that Job's life must be spared. Satan unleashes a series of devastating blows upon Job. Raiders steal his livestock and kill his servants. A natural disaster destroys the house where all of Job's children are gathered, killing them instantly. Yet, in the face of these catastrophic losses, Job remains steadfast in his faith, shaving his head and tearing his robes in mourning, yet still blessing God's name. Not satisfied, Satan challenges God again, suggesting that if Job's own health were compromised, he would surely falter in his faith. God permits Satan to afflict Job's body with painful sores. Job is reduced to sitting in ashes, scraping his skin with a piece of broken pottery. Even his wife tells him to curse God and die, reflecting the depth of despair they felt. Still, Job refuses to curse God, instead questioning why the righteous should suffer. As Job wrestles with his plight, three friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, come to comfort him. They engage in lengthy dialogues, asserting that Job's suffering must be a punishment for sin. Job maintains his innocence throughout, arguing against their traditional views of retribution. He laments his misery and insists on his integrity, longing for an audience with God to plead his case. Finally, God responds, but not with the answers Job or his friends expect. Instead of explaining why Job suffers, God speaks out of a whirlwind, questioning Job about the mysteries of the universe, highlighting Job's limited understanding of the divine workings. Through questions about the creation and management of the world, God emphasizes his omnipotence and the limitations of human knowledge. Job humbly acknowledges his limitations and repents for his questions. Moved by Job's steadfastness and humility, God restores Job's fortunes, giving him twice as much as he had before. Job receives new children, and his health and wealth are fully restored. He lives on for many years, seeing his family flourish. The story of Job challenges the notion that earthly sufferings are always punishments for sin, and instead offers a more complex view of human suffering. It underscores the importance of faith and humility in the face of inexplicable hardships, emphasizing that trust in God should not be contingent on our personal fortunes. Job's story is a profound meditation on the mystery of suffering and the inscrutable ways of God, reminding believers of the depth and resilience of faith even when the reasons behind life's trials remain hidden. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Job 1 verse 21. In our own lives, when the ground shakes beneath our feet, can we too say, "Blessed be the name of the Lord"? Lewis argues that pain, while harsh, tears down illusions of self-sufficiency. It's an awakening, a harsh but necessary teacher that directs us back to dependence on God. In the Beatitudes, Jesus states, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." Matthew 5 verse 4. This comfort comes from drawing closer to God, realizing that in our weakness, His strength is made perfect. When we face pain, whether it's a loss, a failure, or a betrayal, it often feels like we're being punished. But what if we viewed these trials as redirections, steering us back to the divine path? St. Paul shares in his letter to the Romans. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Romans 8 verse 28. Each trial, then, is a thread in the larger tapestry of our life's purpose, woven by God's hand. Lewis's insights remind us that God uses our pain not as a punishment, but as a refinement. In the fires of suffering, our imperfections are laid bare, and our true needs become clear. The psalmist writes, "For you, O God, have tested us, you have tried us, as silver is tried." Psalm 66, verse 10. Through these trials, our faith is purified, our character is strengthened, and our reliance on God is solidified. How then do we respond? The choice to trust in God's plan, even in pain, is a powerful declaration of faith. It's an acknowledgement that our understanding is limited, but His is not. As we navigate through our darkest valleys, remember Isaiah's words. "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you." Isaiah 43 verse 2. The beauty of our journey with God is that no pain is wasted. Each moment of suffering has the potential to catapult us into deeper faith. The promises of Scripture are not just words, they are the bedrock of our hope. Jesus Himself promises, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11 verse 28. In our weariness, this is our invitation to lay down our burdens and find rest in Him. Lewis once remarked that hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. As we look back over our lives, can we see the moments of hardship as preparation for something greater? Can we embrace our divine destiny with courage, knowing that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us? Romans 8 verse 18. Friends, remember that in every pain, in every hardship, God is whispering, speaking, and sometimes shouting to draw us closer. He is ever present, molding us, comforting us, and preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. I pray that you find peace in knowing that whatever you face today, it's part of a greater plan, a divine tapestry woven with threads of love, mercy, and grace. Thank you for joining us in this journey of faith and understanding. May your life be filled with the joy and peace that come from trusting God, no matter the circumstances. Until our next video, keep holding on to faith, keep seeking the Lord, and remember, with God, nothing is impossible. God bless you all.